Ah, you obviously know Kung Fu.
How you doing, everybody? This is Tony Darrow for Kung Fu Drive-In Podcast. I'm glad to be here.
Joining me tonight, actor, singer, stand-up comedian. You've seen him in classic films like Goodfellas, Bullets Over Broadway, on TV in the acclaimed Sopranos, and recently as Capella, a mafia don in the Kung Fu mobster comedy Made in Chinatown, Tony Darrow. Mr. Darrow, thank you so much for joining the Kung Fu Drive-In Podcast tonight.
Tony, don't call me Mr. Darrow. I'm not a professor.
Okay, you got it. Well, let me start off by asking you how you've been coping with the COVID cabin fever to date.
Well, I live in the country. I live in northwestern New Jersey. It's a ski area, and it's I'm not even affected by it. Of course, I wear my mask when I go out, and I don't go into the city at all because I feel that it's very heavy duty there right now. And the other day I had to go in to see my doctor, and it cost me $73 for 45 minutes to park my SUV.
Wow.
So that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
But no, I'm getting along fine with it. And it's just today is kind of sad, of course. It's 9/11, and my heart goes out to all the people that died in there and their wives and kids. I was watching it all day. It's just very, very sad. And all of our first responders, God bless you all. So I wanted to get that in because that's important to me.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. I'm a Jersey boy. You were born in Brooklyn. You're living in Jersey now. And yeah, like you said, we're recording this on 9/11. Do you remember where you were on that day, 19 years ago?
Yes, I do very much. My wife and I were just talking about that. Of course, I was a performer for many, many years. I sang in Carnegie Hall. I sang with the New Jersey State Symphony. I had 2 albums out with Roulette Records. I also starred in Pal Joey, the show Pal Joey. I played Joey Evans. And I know exactly where I was because I used to live in the Catskill Mountains up in Monticello. Right. And I was an avid golfer. And we were playing at a hotel called the Villa Roma Hotel with my buddies. We played every morning at 7:30. And we got to the 9th hole, which was right near the clubhouse. We were going to finish, go to 10. And the owner's son come running down crying. And he said, "Dad, you got to come up." He said, the plane just hit the Twin Towers and they think it's terrorism. We went there and we saw the second tower go down. And it was, I almost lost all my bodily functions. It was just very scary. And I'll never, ever, ever forget that moment when the kid came down the hill as I was ready to putt. And that was the end of our golf game, of course, and the end of the way the world was going to be,
Absolutely. It absolutely changed the world forever. For those of us that were, that can remember that where we were, there's no way that we're going to forget what we were doing or how we were feeling that day.
The world has changed forever now with this COVID. It'll never, ever be the same again.
Absolutely.
It just won't be.
Yeah.
We'll get by. We always do.
Absolutely. The strength and the spirit of the American people will not be put down for too long, right? So
just like we built the tower again, and we keep going, and we're fighters, and screw everybody else that hates us.
Absolutely. Listen, I want to get to that Catskills time for you because apparently before you got into the acting, you were a lounge singer and a comedian. Is that right?
No, not a lounge singer. I was Buddy Hackett. You know who Buddy Hackett was, I hope.
Absolutely, yeah.
You're a young kid. Well, Buddy Hackett was one of the funniest men in the world.
Absolutely.
And stand-up comedian. And I started out as his opening act, and then I was Don Rickles' opening act.
Cool.
And I worked mostly main rooms in Vegas and Atlantic City. And the Catskill Mountains was my training grounds. The Catskill Mountains, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but there was over 400 hotels up there. And nowhere in the world could you work with a 7 or 8 piece orchestra on a Tuesday night to 600-700 people. It was unheard of, and we did that, and we really learned our trade. And if you could perform in the Catskill Mountains and be a winner, you could work anywhere in the world because you learned your trade. It was a master's degree, and I'm very proud to say that I was part of that, and I did get my master's degree in nightclubs and performing.
That's amazing.
And the acting came later.
Yeah, and before the acting, you were even on Johnny Carson. Is that right?
I was on Johnny Carson. I was on Merv Griffin. I was on Mike Douglas. I did them all. I had a hell of a career.
Australia.
My wife was saying, yeah, she's just telling me. I was going to talk about that after, honey. But I had my own television show in Sydney, Australia for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And it was an hour-and-a-half talk show once a week. And I did it all. I Hong Kong, Singapore, Tokyo, Yokohama, Bangkok, Thailand, Korea, all over South America. And if you want to get back into the acting thing, what happened was I was performing at the Claridge Hotel in the main room in Atlantic City. And my friend calls me up and says, you got to do me a favor. My son wants to do this film. He's going to the School of Visual Arts, and we want you to be in the film. And I said, well, I'm working 6 nights a week, 2 shows a night. I don't know when I'm going to do it. You owe me. You got to do it. We're brothers. We're best friends. I would do it. Give me all that crap, you know. So I said, all right. I'm off on Mondays. I'll fly in Monday morning early. I'll work all day Monday and a part of Tuesday, and then I'll fly back Tuesday afternoon. So they picked me up in a Trump helicopter, flew me to 34th and the Hudson River. Yeah, Hudson River.
Yep.
And I went to the hotel and I changed, and I shot 2 days. I go back and I said to my friend, after 2 days, he calls me. He says, you screwed up my effing film. I go, what do you mean I screwed it up? He said, well, it was supposed to be a horror movie. You turned it into a mob movie, and now we got to give you the lead. And the name of the movie was called Street Trash.
Street Trash, yeah.
Cult following movie.
Absolutely.
Everywhere I go, the college kids in those days were, and still till today, if I'm going to promote another film, they want to talk about Street Trash. So if all you people out there, if you want to know what I'm talking about, watch this movie. And it was my first film. And it became a very, very big, one of the biggest horror movies for the college kids in those days. And I'm very proud of it. And that's what started my acting career.
Now, were you even considering acting before you got that call?
No, not really, because, you know, I had done nightclubs all my life, and the stage. Acting is wonderful, don't get me wrong. But there's nothing like instant reward. When you sing a love song like My Way, or you make people cry, and then you snap your fingers, oh, the shock has pearly teeth, and everybody starts clapping along with you, and you could do that to an audience. It's like a water faucet. And the instant you do that, you get a reward. They stand up, or they cheer, or they yell, and it's wonderful. But in acting, you got to wait to see how the dailies came out, and you know how the rushes come out, and you always say to yourself, oh, geez, I'm getting bags under my eyes. I could have done it better this way. I delivered that line like shit. I don't like this. It's not an instant reward. And actually, when I watch myself, I never like myself. I always think I could do it better. And maybe that's why I'm successful, because I'm always trying hard, you know?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about that is your first film is this cult film, Street Trash. Your second film, your very second film, without even trying to get into acting, your second film...
How do you know all this shit? You study, huh?
I do my research. But your very second film is directed by none other than Martin Scorsese. How does that happen to you? Okay,
well, I was with the William Morris Agency as a nightclub performer. And I left the William Morris Agency because of this. I went back years later, but what happened was... It's such a big agency, and corporate works different than most smaller agencies. I'm on the list for variety act. I'm not on the list for motion picture actor or Broadway show actor. I'm variety. So when they call up William Morris looking for me, they look on the list. They can't find me because they called the motion picture department. And they didn't even, that's how sometimes sloppy people, I could have blown a whole career because of them. They never knew I was with the William Morris office. And I get a call from my friend, said, you know, they're looking for you for this Martin Scorsese. I said, who's looking for me? He said, Martin Scorsese's office. They saw you in Street Trash and they want you for this film. So I call my agent, Lee Solomon, who's a variety agent. And I said, Lee, he said, I don't understand. And all of a sudden I got the audition, okay? And when I walked in, I didn't want to do this audition because I had to fly in from Atlantic City again on the Trump helicopter, and I have to do 2 shows that night, okay? And, you know, when you're singing, your voice, like talking is harder than singing.
Sure.
You use different parts of your vocal cords. And I go through a routine. I run on the boardwalk every morning, 5 miles, and I vocalize and I eat light. I do what I have to do. Now all of a sudden I got to fly into New York to audition for a stupid movie. I don't even know. I know who Martin Scorsese is. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know how important he is. Like if you ask me who the entertainment director was at Caesars, I could tell you. I know his wife's name. Anything to do with nightclubs or hotels, I know. But I'm not into acting.
Right.
So I said to him, my agent, I really have to go. He said, yeah, you have to go. This is a big role. He said, you go if you get this part, it's a principal role. So I said, okay. So I go and I walk up there and I'm not nervous. I'm never nervous because when you do 6 shows, 2 shows a night, 6 nights a week, you're right on. It's like a star pitcher. You know exactly what you're doing when you're playing baseball, whatever. So I don't get nervous. So I walk in and I see this palatial office and I see this gorgeous broad behind this podium. And she says, you Tony Darrow? I said, yeah. She said, Mr. Scorsese and Ellen Lewis will be right out. That was the casting director. So Marty comes out and I call him Marty now. I know he's my
Of course.
Mr. Scorsese comes out and now I start to get a little bit of butterflies because I see this. Oh, and Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing is walking out. She was auditioning for, Dirty Dancing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She was auditioning for Lorraine Bracca's role. Of course, she didn't get it. Okay. But at that time, she might have gotten it if they had casted a younger person. So Ellen Lewis, I look at Jennifer Grey and I go, wow, that's that kid from Dirty Dancing. Wow, that's hot stuff. Now I start to get a little bit of butterflies, and Scorsese walks out with Ellen Lewis, and she says, Tony Darrow. I said, yes. She says, this is Martin Scorsese. Now I get a little nervous, and when I get nervous, I do shtick. That's me. I do jokes. I kid because I'm a ball breaker. So he sticks out his hand, and am I allowed to curse on this?
Absolutely.
So he sticks out his hand, and instead of me grabbing his hand, I slap it. I go, don't give me your fucking hand. If I don't get this part, you and the broad are going out the window. You know where the hell I had to come from for this shit? I had to fly all the way in from Atlantic City. And he stares at me. And my whole life went in front of me. I said, you moron. And this only happened like in 10, 15 seconds of him staring, or 5 seconds, I don't know. But I blacked out almost. I went, oh, shit, this is not nightclubs. It's not nightclubs, you moron. Who the hell are you talking to like that, And all of a sudden he goes, Jesus Christ, this is what I'm looking for. He said, everybody comes in here all cotton mouth. They can't talk. And he said, you're a natural. He says, come on inside. So we go inside. He don't sit behind his desk. He sits next to me. And he slaps me on the leg. And he goes, so how many other films have you done? I go, other films? It's like, I did 1 film, Street Trash. He said, that's it? I said, yeah. He said, well, you got the part. You're going to play Sonny Bamboo. At that time, it was Sonny Bamboo because it was the Bamboo Lounge. Right. Then they changed it because Sonny Bamboo didn't like the phrase bamboo. So Marty made it Sonny Buns. And actually, the name of the movie wasn't going to be Goodfellas. It was going to be Wise Guys. But there was a TV series at that time called Wise Guys. So the TV series says you're going to have a lawsuit if you do it. So we changed it to Goodfellas, which was the greatest thing that could ever happen.
Yeah.
Because that's a real street phrase. When a wise guy is a good fella, that means he's connected, you know.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, I got the role. Now, listen to this. I'm going on stage on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All of a sudden, I see Robert De Niro cast for this. Joe Pesci cast for this. Paul Sorvino cast for this. This one for that. And I call up my agent. I go, I don't want to do the movie.
What?
He goes, what do you mean you don't want to do the movie? I says, where's my name? He says, you're a moron. This is your second film. He says, you're not a motion picture actor. You're a nightclub performer. It's not the billing in this. It's a whole different world. You're going to do this role. You know, you got a principal role in this film. So I said, okay, I'll do it. You know, and that started my whole career. I really did.
That's
and
amazing.
Still to today, I thank Mr. Scorsese very much for that. And another guy I thank is Woody Allen. I did 6 Woody Allen movies in a row.
Yeah, it's, again, another legendary name for someone who didn't even want to get into acting.
And also, Harold Ramis was very good to me from Analyze This.
Yes.
He loved me. So I've had I've done over 50 films, 52 or 50. I don't know exactly how many, but I think it's around 50 or more. And I'm very fortunate. I like what I do, and I like to help people, and I'm kind to people. I'm not a sucker, but I'm nice to people. You know, as long as they're nice to me, I'll help and I'll do whatever I can. Like De Niro helped me on my second film.
Yeah.
You know, Tony, sit this way because you're out of camera. Don't use too much of your hands because it's not nightclubs. You got to stay within the frame. And he taught me a lot of stuff, you know. And Pesci was very good to me. Well, Pesci and I grew up together. We knew each other in nightclubs because he sang and played guitar.
Okay.
So we knew each other for a long time.
That's incredible. And at any point in that first 2-3 films or so, did you ever stop and say, what the hell am I doing here?
No, because I said, you know, I didn't have to vocalize anymore. I didn't have to run on the boardwalk anymore. I didn't have to watch what I eat. I couldn't have a drink before a show because I never drank before a show. And you can't overeat because you start singing feelings, nothing more, and you start burping. So you eat a lot, you know. So it was very relaxing. And when you do a film, you study your lines, but you don't lock in on it because it could change when you get to the set. And you don't really try to really know your lines as well as you should or you want to because it could be changed.
Sure.
But if you know your lines and you say it, the wrong thing, if I say, here, for example, a writer would write, oh, sir, I'm so overwhelmed to meet you. I'm such an honor to be in your presence. I don't fucking talk like that.
Right.
You know, so I would say the same thing. Hey, my man, how you doing? I'm so glad to meet you. You know, I heard a lot about you. I finally got to meet you. I said the same thing, but I said it in my words. And that's the way Scorsese works, and that's the way Woody Allen works, and Harold Ramis. They let you go. You stay within the context of the scene, but you could do your thing.
Yeah.
That's why they hired you, to be yourself, but to do the script, but to do it the way you interpret it, not the way the writer wrote it, because writers don't know streets like I do. I mean, I can't do Shakespeare, but I played doctors, I played lawyers, I've done a lot of stuff. But if you could be yourself, it's much easier.
Yeah. And with your background in live performances, I'm sure that improvising right on the spot wasn't a big deal for you ever.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's what I do best.
Yeah.
Ad-lib.
Yeah.
Because I've been an ad-lib all my life. And on camera, I do that a lot too. Like let's talk about the film that I star in, Street Trash, Made in Chinatown.
Made in Chinatown, yeah.
You know, Vinny Pistori and I did a lot of ad-libbing in that, and we helped other people do the ad-libbing, and it shows in the film. And the film is terrific. I mean, there's no cursing. It's a mob, martial art, love story, comedy.
Yeah.
And there's no cursing and there's no killing in it.
Right.
It's just funny and it's cute. And it's a little sad too, because the kid falls in love. He doesn't know where he's going with this love thing, and if it's going to be the Italian girl or it's going to be his Chinese girlfriend. That it's a great story, and I can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about Street Trash.
Yeah, you guys did a great job with that film too.
I said Street Trash again, Made in Chinatown.
Yes.
I keep saying Street Trash because that was my first film. And I want to thank Mark Wiley, who wrote it and did a lot of work on it. The kid worked very hard on it. And I hope it's successful for all of us.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think it was about that script that appealed to you right away?
The fact that it was a different twist on it, and the lines are great. I mean, here's a kid that's on the south side of Chinatown, of Canal Street. He's Chinese, and of course he looks Chinese. And here I am. I'm on the north side of Canal, and I'm supposedly a mob boss. My name is what the hell?
Al Capella. Al Capella.
Al Capella. I was going to say Tony Bando. Al Capella, and the kids that are around me, of course I'm the boss, so I'm always upstairs in the office and outside playing cards in the dirts, and the Chinese kid watches them from across the street, and he does their gestures like, hey, oh, I break your face, and he forget about it. He's always saying forget about it, and he's trying so hard to be like us. And that's what the story's about. He wants to be a mob guy instead of being a nice, grown Chinese kid that goes into his father's business. Right. And that's the whole story. It's very funny.
It is very funny, and there is a nice touch of a love story there. And you guys really did a great job with the characters. And like you said, the lines were really well done. One of the things I liked about you and your character was that anytime you delivered a line, it seemed like you had this look on your face like you were waiting for something to happen, and if it didn't happen, you were going to punch somebody in the face. That's what it looked like.
Well, I tried to interpret it as what I liked about the film too is everything wasn't fuck, suck, fuck, and break your face, cocksucker, this. The thing was nice. It was clean. It was you don't have to curse in order to be a winner. And that's what I liked about it, And, there's a line in there when the boss of the Chinese guys is sitting behind his desk and O'Grady, to talk to him. And they're talking Chinese and they call him Dracula in Chinese. I wrote that line.
Oh, did you? That's awesome.
Yeah, we were looking to, what can we say about him? Mark kept saying, what should we say? And I said, the fucking guy looks like Dracula. Let's call him. And it got a big laugh in the film, and I was proud of that because it's the only line I wrote, but I got to say it. Great.
The interaction between you and Vinny Pastore too was looked like you guys were just having fun. How long have you guys known each other?
We know each other a long time, and his first film or a second film was in Goodfellas when he's wheeling the carts of fur coats in. Right. And I'm standing by the door and Ray Liotta walks in. But Vinny and I have a love thing going. He's a good kid and he's a fine actor and we're very good friends. And there's no ego thing with him or I. And we get along great, Good. And I wish him the best.
One thing about the roles, you've played a lot of street tough mob mafia types. Do you ever get tired of playing that role? Do you ever want to stretch out?
Yeah, I've played priests. I've played a lot of other things, lawyers and stuff. But listen, somebody's got to do it, and I hope it's me because I want to feed my family. So I really don't care. And I know I do it well. And I grew up in the streets, and I knew a lot of those guys. So I feel, you can't get a guy from Indiana or Ohio that never was in the streets to talk like us because you could tell right away that it's not natural, it's not real. Just like I can't do Shakespeare, Right. So, and I'm a studied actor. I studied at Herbert Bergdorf Studios under a lady called Uta Hagen, who was Jose Ferrer's ex-wife. So I'm sometimes I get annoyed with guys. I want to be an actor. what qualifies you to say you want to be an actor? When that light goes on and you have to do your lines, you better know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there that'll eat you up alive. So my only advice is to people, study, not just because you think you're pretty or because you think you could act. You better know how to act and do it.
Yeah. Let's go back a little bit to the singing and the nightclub days, because when you were doing that stuff, it was the 70s and the late 70s, early 80s, right? Around that time. It was a different world back then.
Yeah, it was a whole different world. The Catskill Mountains they call it the Borscht Belt. It was 98%, 99% Jewish, okay? And I used to do, this land is mine, God gave this land to me. I said, Avenu Shalom Alechem, Avenu Shalom Alechem. Those were the songs. Hava, Nagila. And you had to know all the Jewish shtiklach, not shtiklach. Yeah, and I knew all of that. I learned it. And I was very proud to be part of the Catskill Mountains. It saved my life.
Yeah.
Because I think that if I had stayed in the neighborhood, I probably would have been dead or in jail. Because most of my friends, that's where they wound up. But the Catskill Mountains saved my life.
Yeah.
And I saw that there was a different culture, and I saw that there was a different world out there, and it gave me heart.
Yeah.
And I realized that, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to be like those guys back in the neighborhood. I love them all, and I wish them the best, but I wanted to do something else with my life.
Yeah.
And thank God that I had that street background.
Yeah, I want to touch on that too, because I read somewhere that you were talking about your friends from the neighborhood and outliving them because they got into whatever situations they got into, and you said that you at one point asked, why did God forget me?
Yeah, because I didn't know what direction I was going to go, and I worked on construction. Most of the guys that worked on construction, they did time. They were in jail, and that's the only kind of jobs they can get. Here I am pushing a wheelbarrow. I got dirt under my nails, dust on my eyebrows. I'm coughing all day. I come home filthy, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I thought I was a loser. And then I realized I always could sing. And we used to sing on the corner, doo-wop. I had like a little doo-wop group. And it was nothing, and there was a guy who had a record company, and his dad had the record company, and he said, hey, Anthony, you guys sing pretty good. Why don't you sing for my dad? And we did, and he recorded us. And the record started getting on the radio and all that. But we never made any money because my father, I'm not embarrassed to say it. My father was away. He was in jail. And I had a kid brother who I had to feed. I used to steal milk off of stoops in those days. Remember when they put the milk in the
bottles,
little bottles? Yeah. So I got lucky, and I'll never forget it. And I thank God. And it's something maybe a lot of people don't know about that. But I go to church every day for 5 minutes, and I pray to St. Anthony because he saved my life. And I believe that. Yeah.
Well, it takes luck, but it also takes some perseverance on your part, because you have to actually want to get up and rise above that stuff, right?
Well, you know what you want to do in life, but you don't know if you can do it. You don't know if you're going to get the breaks. Now, a lot of people don't get the breaks. There was a couple of chances where I could have been a big, big star, and it never happened because the road went the other way, and it wasn't my fault, But I'm very lucky. I got my residual checks. I have a wonderful wife, and I have my son who's going to be a lawyer, and I thank God for every day. I appreciate what I have. And I think if I wasn't brought up in the streets, I wouldn't appreciate it as much.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But even still, you are part of some classic films that will be recognized as classics way down the line, so you can't shake your head at that at all.
No, in fact, the line with Paulie when I'm sitting at the table and I go, I hate the word, but you have to say because it's in the film. He's treating me like I'm a half a fag. I wrote that whole scene.
Oh, wow.
What do you want me to wind up a Lannister? you know, and I'm like, hey, what do you want to do? Kill this guy? Well, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I wrote that whole scene. Marty called me into his trailer, and he said, you grew up in that neighborhood, and you knew the real guys. And I did. I knew Paulie, and I knew Jimmy Burke very well, and I knew Tommy DeSimone, you know, who played, Joe Pesci played him.
Yeah.
And I knew all those guys. And it's something that is inside of you, which you have to get out. And I knew that right away I could never be like that. So
Yeah.
I'm very happy that I was brought up that way. And also, a lot of people can't take rejection. I could take rejection because I was rejected all my life until I started getting lucky with the movies and with nightclubs.
Sure, sure. So what about the nowadays? Are you still singing? You still keep up with that?
Yeah, I vocalize every day. Why, you want me to sing a song to you?
Absolutely.
I gotta put the tape on, but I could if you, honey, can we find a track for me? I'll sing him a song.
Absolutely, that'd be great.
But nice and easy is good. Get that. But anyway, so Frank Sinatra was a friend of mine.
Wow.
Frank Sinatra came to see me perform at the Rainbow Room, and at that time I was headlining at the Rainbow Room in Atlantic City, on top of the RCA in Atlantic City, in Manhattan. On top of the RCA building. Mm-hmm. And that was only for names, but I had a big following, and I had a dynamite nightclub act. And he came to see me. A friend of mine brought him in, and at that time I was singing, "Don't Deny Me, Satisfy Me One More Time." That was one of the songs. And then, "Let Me Try Again, Let Me Try." I did that, and then I closed with "My Way." And he's sitting in the audience, and I had to do those songs. And I want to tell you, Scared, you have no idea how frightened
I'm sure.
Because I was working every night, I was able to do it because my throat was oiled, let's say. I was in good shape, you know. Yeah.
That's amazing. And again, you absolutely have a set of brass ones to be able to do some of the things that you did. I give you credit.
Well, that's from the streets. Yeah. That's from being brought up in a tough neighborhood. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood where John Gotti came from and a lot of those guys. So it's nothing. I wasn't a tough guy, but I could handle myself. Yeah. And I wasn't a mob guy, but I knew a lot of them, and I respected them because they did what they did, and I did what I did, you know. Yeah. So.
What about in terms of other acting things going on? What do you have in the works? You've written bits and pieces for anything like that for other films. Do you have any aspirations to maybe write a film yourself?
Yeah, we're talking about that. Mark and I are talking about that now, about doing two things, which I can't talk about because we don't even have titles or anything. But I'm interested in doing something like that and maybe directing someday. My cousin Paul Borghese, who's a great director, he's directed like 15 films or so, and him and I are working on a script too. So there's a lot of things in the works. And then as soon as the nightclubs open up again, I'm going to be at the Mount Airy Casino. Oh, cool. I'm going to be at a place called Mosaico in Springfield, New Jersey. Actually, it's Mountainside, New Jersey.
That's right by my house.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I'm there. But
that'd be fantastic.
I'll make you pay, you know. I don't,
sure, of course.
There's no comps, you know.
I wouldn't expect any less.
No, I'll comp you.
Thank you. No, it would be great to see you. Your voice is fantastic. I had never heard you sing, so I'll admit that.
You want to hear a song? You got a minute?
Absolutely, please do.
All right, we'll sing this for you. Is it loud enough, honey?
Yeah.
This is a track.
Yeah, it is a track.
No. All right. Well, when you get it, let me know and then back it up. Okay. But anyway, let's see. What would you like to talk about?
Well, again, because it was such a different world then. What's one of the craziest stories from your nightclub days that you can recall and share with us safely?
Oh, well, one day I'm working this place. Have you ever heard of the guy, Jack Carter? He's a funny comedian.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, well, I was working a major hotel in the Catskill Mountains called the Concord Hotel, and my second show was a bungalow colony. A bungalow colony is a little village of cabins, and they have a big cabin in the middle, and they have soda fountain, and they have a stage. And only on Saturday nights could they afford to do a show.
Right.
So you would work an early show, and then sometimes I would do 3 shows a night in 3 different places. You'd have to jump in your car in your tuxedo. That's a training ground. And then ride to the next place in the rain sometimes, open up an umbrella, soaking wet, tell, I'm here. When you'd yell, I'm here, the comedian would get off, and then you'd come on. And I'll never forget, I knock on the door one day, it said office, and I said, the lady comes out, she says, what do you want? I said, I'm the singer for tonight's show. She says, what's your name? I said, Tony Darrow. She looks me up and down. She says, you're not Jewish? So I said, no, but I do have an Agila Shalom Aleichem, Yiddish Shemam. I do all the shtickler. Don't worry about it. You'll be very happy. So she says, what else do you do? Now I get a little twisted because I'm a clown. And I go, I got a dog in the car. The dog does tricks. I'm kidding her. She goes, all right, get the dog. Right? She really thought I had a fucking dog, and she called up my agent and told my agent, how come Laurel's, Concord can get a dog and I can't get a dog just because it's a big hotel? Where's the dog? I told everybody there wasn't. She really thought I had a dog. And I did that on the Tonight Show. I told that story.
Oh, well, by the way, what was Johnny Carson like? I mean, so for the younger folks in the audience, Johnny Carson was the king of late night before all the king of late nights.
Well, it was Johnny Carson. It was Merv Griffin.
Yeah.
Who else? Mike Douglas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there was the big guy. There was a guy in Ohio called. I'll think of his name now. He had a show too, which I did. I did them all.
Yeah.
I did all the shows, but. How I got on the Carson show was Joey Bishop brought me on.
Oh, wow.
I work with Joey Bishop too.
Wow.
I had a hell of a career. And it was, I had all arrangements for violins and everything. I had music for 36-piece orchestra. So thank God I had all of that. And I still sing. I open up my comedy show with 2 or 3 songs every night. And then I go into the comedy. And it works great, you know.
How many shows are you doing a week now?
Well, I'm doing nothing now. There's
Well,
nothing.
yeah, right.
I gotta work. If I want to work, I gotta work in a tent. You know, there's no nightclubs. There's no a teepee. I gotta work in. No, there's nothing around anymore until this COVID thing goes away.
You sing in the car.
Yeah, I sing in the car. I sing in the shower to my wife.
You need to set up one of these Zooms and just invite people in, and charge them, of course, but then just do a show from your...
My agent was thinking of doing something like that, so we'll see.
Cool. Very cool. What's this track that you're going to sing?
All right, it's called...
Nice and easy.
Nice and easy. Play it so they can hear the tape. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Let's take it nice and easy. It's gonna be so easy. You can hear it?
Yep.
For us to fall in love. Hey, baby, what's your hurry? Relax and don't you worry. We're gonna fall in love. We're on that road to romance, and that's safe to say, but let's make all of the stops along the way. The problem now, of course, is to simply hold your horses. To rush would be such a crime. 'Cause nice and easy does it every time. That's enough. We don't have to know more.
That is magnificent. Guys, that was a treat. So for everybody in the audience, you just heard Tony Darrow do Frank Sinatra's Nice and Easy, and that was amazing. Thank you for that. Was Frank Sinatra's music one of your favorite staples for your act?
I was a cross between a Sinatra and a Bobby Darin, but I did a lot of shtick. you know, I'd be singing and the guy wouldn't be looking at me, and I say, "Did you come here for revenge? You know, are you tired? You want a blanket and a pillow?" You know, I do lines all the time. That's what I did. You know, is this your wife's or a business trip? You know, I had all the lines, so
Nice.
it always worked. Yeah,
Awesome.
and I learned that from the Catskill Mountains.
Your proving grounds.
Yep.
All right, then. So once COVID is all done and you can get back out there, what's the first thing you're gonna do?
I'm gonna go to Disney. No, I'm kidding. First thing I'm gonna do is take my wife and my son to a real good restaurant and sit inside and eat like I used to do. There's one of my favorite places in New York is a private club called the Columbus Club. It's on 69th Street and Fifth Avenue, and they run the Columbus Day Parade, and it's a wonderful private club, and that's one of my favorite places in the whole world, and my wife too. So I want to go there. And then I got this place, like I told you, Mosaico, which I'm going to be working. Oh, and I must mention, Mob Movie Con. We're going to be doing that in April at Harrah's. It's like Soprano Con, like we did in September.
Nice.
Only this is called Mob Movie Con, and it's going to be like well, we all get together, sign autographs, to pictures,
Cool.
and I'm going to do my nightclub act at Harrah's, and it'll be a big night for us. And I think it's 2 days, so I'm excited about that too.
Awesome, awesome. So I'll get those links from you, and I'll put those in the show notes, and a link to your site as well. I'll make sure that's out there. And for anybody that has not seen Made in Chinatown yet, go to the Urban Action Showcase site.
Oh, please,
and you can get it from there. It's a great film. The guys do such a wonderful job.
I'm not an egomaniac, but we're really good in it. Vinny and I together, it's like Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. He's Jerry Lewis, that fatso. But no, actually, we're good together. We work off each other really well. So I'm very proud. And the kid that plays the lead, that plays Vincent, the Chinese kid, he's wonderful. Most of the guys in the film are great.
Yeah.
You know, so you're going to enjoy it. I promise you.
And like he was saying, it is a family film, so you don't have to worry about having the kids watch it with you.
No cursing and no killing. A lot of martial arts. These guys are great.
Oh,
my
fantastic.
God, could they do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Absolutely, yeah, no, and it's great. The director Bobby Samuels has a Hong Kong background, so he and James Liu, the action director,
They did a great job too. Everybody did. My cousin Paul played my underboss. He was great.
Frankie Browse, right? Is that his name?
Frankie Browse, I think his name was. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how he got that name? Because in high school he does have big brows, and I gave him the name. We used to call him Browsy in high school. So I gave him the name Browsy. Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, then once this is all done, I hope you get out there and do more stuff. I'm looking forward to maybe catching you at Mosaico.
Well, stay in touch, and we'll do this again when it comes out.
Absolutely, and best of luck with everything that you have going on, sir. You are a fun dude. You are a fun dude. I have to thank you so much for taking some time out to talk. I had a great time and a wonderful voice. Thank you so much for sharing that song with us.
Too, whatever you wish for in life, you should have. And whatever you wish for in life, I should have. Because in case you wish for something I never had, why the hell should I be left?
Absolutely. The wisdom of Tony Darrow. Tony Darrow, thank you so much again for taking some time out. I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope to see you again very soon.
All right, and stay healthy, and let's beat this COVID. And again, God bless the people that died on 9/11, and God bless our first responders. Good night, and God bless you all. Let's hope we beat this.
Poison Clan rocks the world.